So last week, Arcam, I had bought the Arcam, which I bought myself. And I mentioned in the video that it was kind of crappy. Probably the worst pre-pro that I've had in for review. So that was on firmware version 0.89. As I was shooting that, I did get an email stating that there was a new firmware update, which was 0.95. Obviously, I didn't get time to do it before I started doing the stream, so I did that live stream, just kind of letting you guys know how the experience was with it straight out of the box with the old firmware on it. So now that I've done the newest firmware, which is 0.95, well, first off, let's talk about how do you upgrade the firmware on the Arcam AV40 and I think the AVR10, 20, and 30 as well. First off, I downloaded the firmware onto the USB stick from their website, directly from their website. You download it from their site. It comes in two parts in a zip file. It comes with a like a regular software file, which is like a .fw file, I think the firmware, and then there's like an SW file, like an image file. So after you unzip it, you have to take each file, put it on the USB stick by itself. Then there's like a certain button combination you have to press on the unit, and then it updates. So I was able to do the first part of the update perfectly fine, which took about, I want to say about 10-15 minutes. Then the second part, I've tried multiple times to do the second part of it, which was to upgrade the image file, which just stuck. So I left it overnight and it never did it. So I tried it 4 or 5 other times, it just didn't take. So I had emailed them and told them, listen, there's an issue with doing the second part of the firmware update. What do I have to do now? So they told me to try the OTA, which is directly downloading it from the AV40 itself and just updating it that way from the OTA. And if you do that, it doesn't update you to 0.95. It actually downgraded me to 0.776, I think it was. So it actually downgraded me. So I emailed them back again saying, listen, I tried the OTA and it didn't work. So they recommended that I update it directly from their web UI, which is basically you type in the IP address in Chrome and it takes you to the interface, which you can access over the internet of the AV40. That way you can select the file off your laptop or computer and upload it directly from your PC over to the processor or the receiver, whatever you got. So that's one way you can do it if you get stuck doing it from the OTA or if you're doing it from the USB stick. So that's the only way that worked for me. Doing it that way takes maybe about half an hour or so. So it does take a little bit of time. So I was able to upload the firmware, which is now on 0.95/09, I believe. And I think the net is now at 3.0. Previously, I think it was at 1.0. So some of the issues that were addressed that I had mentioned, at least at tech support, I'm sure they did it before I spoke about it, but just some issues that were definitely cleared up right away were the multi-subwoofer outputs, 13, 14, 15, 16, which I've got connected through XLRs. Those are now functioning. Previously, it did not function. Only the subwoofer output was working. But then again, it was very low in volume. I don't think I mentioned it in the previous video, but the center channel also was unusually low compared to the rest of the channels in the system. So that was also kind of addressed as well. That seems normal now. Seems to match the front two channels more closely. So that seems fine now. The clicking that I was getting from my overhead channels, it was kind of like a clock ticking. It was like tick, 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 tick. And some kind of an interference kind of sound, almost like a hissing, crackling sound. That's now, I'm going to say like 99% gone. The only issue that I had that was kind of remaining, like I said, there was that hissing, kind of a noise floor issue. There was that slight hum and hiss, maybe slight crackling sound, kind of like a static interference sound that you would hear. So that was almost gone. It's actually gone through, definitely in the height speakers and the side and back speakers, but I was still able to hear it from the front speakers. I think so. I've kind of narrowed it down to what I thought it was because previously I had connected through Wi-Fi using the Google Home app. You can also connect through Wi-Fi using Apple AirPlay if you add it as a secondary speaker. That's how you add it through Wi-Fi. So I did that, and I noticed I was kind of getting that staticky sound, kind of like fluctuating in and out, like maybe something was piping through it, even though I wasn't watching anything. So I kind of thought maybe it's the Wi-Fi that's interfering. So I decided to undo the antenna on the back, and instead of connecting straight through Wi-Fi, I connected through the LAN, so I hardwired it. That pretty much got rid of any kind of interference that I was having, which is a little weird because I never had Wi-Fi interference with any receiver or any other pre-pro that I had before, but after I hardwired it, then I wasn't getting that staticky sound anymore. So I'm not sure what's going on with that, but that pretty much almost took care of the hissing that I was hearing. And you can really only hear it if you stick your ear right up to the tweeter now on the front channel speakers, on the left and right channel speakers. I don't hear it through any other channel except through the left and rights. So I'm not sure why I was picking up sound from the Wi-Fi. Other than that, I mean, those were the main issues that I had with it, and I think 0.95 pretty much took care of it. There are still some usability issues, like the test tones still don't work properly on it. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. What else? The user interface still kind of looks like shit, so I mean, if they could address that, like give us a few more lines of text to see what we're selecting on screen, that would be an awesome welcome change. Direct Live is still not active on it, so we're still kind of waiting on a new firmware update. I've been hearing that version 1.0, which should be coming out soon from what I'm hearing, that should add Direct Live. Right now we're on 0.95, so I guess kind of still in beta. Although Direct, if you load it up on the PC, it does pick up, it does read that the Arcam is it's picking up on the PC. So you can sort of use it, but not really, because the first thing that you do is you plug the UMic one into your into the PC, and then you can do your test tones. So the first thing that you do, you run the test tones, but the test tones only work on the front left channel. So you can't go and do the rest of the channels and move on with the rest of the program and the rest of the room correction. But at least it's in the right direction. At least Direct, the software, does pick up the AV40, whereas some other processors, I don't know, Emotiva, RMC1, XMC2, still no word on whenever that's going to drop, unfortunately. But the Arcam does look like it is on the right track. Would I recommend buying it right now in its current state? I mean, there's still some bugs on it still, but I did watch Zombieland 2 on it recently, like 2 nights ago. I didn't do the review on it, but I don't think I'm going to do the review on it. But everything worked perfectly fine. It was quiet. You know, I know I said you can hear a little bit hiss coming from it if you stick your ears to the tweeter. Yes, but if you're watching a movie, then you don't hear it. I would say it kind of sounded like maybe if I had like a mid-tier receiver, the kind of hiss that you would hear from a mid-tier receiver. So it's nothing like detrimental that really kills the experience. It's quiet enough where you just don't hear it if you're watching content. But I'm sure, probably, most likely on the next update, I'm sure they'll address it, because everything else seems to be almost addressed. That's just my main issue with it right now. And of course, the GUI kind of sucks on it. But would I say definitely go buy it? I'd say if you're on the fence of picking it up, maybe hold off on the next update when version 1.0 comes out, if you're following the forums and the threads or the videos, or at least the video that I'm doing. So hold off maybe like another few weeks till they drop the newest firmware. Then I would say it would probably be a safe bet to pick up. As of right now, you know, it's still, you can still buy it and you can still enjoy it. It's still fine. Some bugs here and there, but as far as usability is concerned, it seems to work fine. At least for my scenario, everything works all right. I mean, obviously Direct Live would be nice to have. Test tones, not reliable. That does kind of suck. Other than that, everything that I've tried does work well on it. I didn't try to like stream any music or use Bluetooth or nothing like that, because I don't use the home theater for music or anything. So basically just for movie watching purposes and listening, I'd say it's like 99% fine sounding, except for that little hiss. But that's kind of a little nitpick, I guess, if you're nobody listens to their speakers up to the, really puts their ear to the speaker that often, right? But I would say just for regular movie watching as right now, everything sounds fine. There is a little bug if you're using the web UI. If you're going to change settings using the web UI, it doesn't stick. And if you change it on the actual unit itself and you go back to the web UI, the changes don't reflect on the web UI. So that's a little weird, I think. So maybe that could be addressed as well. So whatever the communication there with the web UI and the actual unit, something is a little funky there. So that definitely needs to be worked on as well. But as of right now, the newest firmware, AV40 version 0.95, a lot of issues were addressed, and it does fix a lot of the issues that I had from my previous video, which was only a couple days ago. So Arcam is on the right track. I wish other brands like Emotiva would do the same thing and maybe get some of their issues worked out as well. I don't think I've seen any new firmwares drop for Emotiva recently, but at least Arcam's listening and they're working on it. So kudos to Arcam. Thanks for getting out those updates. If you guys have an Arcam, what are your experiences like, and do you think it's a worthy purchase right now? And were any of your issues fixed as well? Leave a comment down below if the newest firmware addressed any of that. All right, so that's all I really wanted to do a video on, was just about the Arcam. And I guess we can just take a couple questions here. Maybe I'll just hang out for like another 10 minutes or so, 20 minutes, and we'll see what's up. But yeah, like I said, man, I watched Zombieland 2 like 2 or 3 nights ago. I thought it was a fun movie. I didn't think there were too many Atmos side effects in it. It was definitely sharp. I want to say 4K crisp, but pretty close to 4K crisp. Colors were nice. There were some nice specular highlights. Dolby Atmos. I don't think there was much in the Atmos height channels. Bass was good. Bass was actually very good. But then again, I didn't really calibrate the speakers fully, so I might have had the subwoofers turned up too high. But from what I could tell, the bass did sound really good on it. Just Atmos wasn't like fantastic or anything. But if I was going to score it, I would give it a good, maybe like 8.1, 8.2. Zombieland for video, audio, average, maybe like 7.4. Zombieland 2. 8.1 video, 7.4 for audio. That's the review.